Playing TrainSimWorld on some British roads, I found out that on the British locomotives all the lights are not really effective in the night. But this case, why there are so many lights on some British locomotives? The answer is that the combination of these lights had a lot of information about your train. Let's figure it out.
The class lights, or headcodes as it's called in Britain, were first introduced in the 1850s with oil lamps arranged to classify different trains for railway workers. For example, two lights on left and right sides of engine head indicated a passenger express, and one light at the middle indicated a light engine. This became widespread across the United Kingdom and became the standard feature on steam-era railway companies. Later, it also began to be used on other railroads around the world with different classification in every country. For example, the North American railroads used two flags or lights, depending on the time of day, in different colors. Most of the world railways have used this class light system for over 100 years, and some still use it even today.
In this movie, we will tell you about two classification systems you can meet in TrainSimWorld. First one, more simple, is North American class lights you can meet on Oakville Subdivision road. And the second, more complicated, is the British headcodes you can meet on Class 40, Class 20 and steam locomotives of British railways. Let's start from the simple one.
For much of railroad history, train movement authority on North America was granted by timetables. If a train was listed in a timetable, it had the authority to operate according to its printed schedule and it didn't need any indication. But there was some special trains had to be marked by white, green or red flags or lights. The white color indicated an extra train not shown in the timetable. Usually it were trains running late and the most part of freight trains. The green one indicated that while the train displaying the lights was a regularly scheduled one, a second section was following behind it. This was done, for example, when ridership demand exceeded the capacity of a single passenger train. If there were too many passengers for a single section of, say, New York Central's 20th Century Limited, a second section was operated and, if needed, a third, fourth and even fifth. The engine of each section, except the last, would display green lights. While each section was a separate entity, the timetable's train 25 would not be considered to have passed a given point until the last section of the train had gone by. What's about red? It's the most simple one. It indicated the end of a train. A train, be it a single engine, a group of engines, or an engine with cars, must have a marker on the rear end. In the situations when the last element of a train would be a locomotive, the red lights would be lit. With British system, everything is more difficult. There are 10 classes indicated by 4 white lights in different combinations. You can see now a table of classes and its headcodes on your screen. For seeing your question about classes C, D, E and F, let's figure out what is pipe fitted. The fact is that British Railroad is very old, and for a long time the carriages were not equipped with train brakes. We already mentioned this in the previous story. With the adoption of the vacuum braking system, many old cars for various reasons were not equipped with new brakes, but were still quite suitable for use. Thus, the train included carriages both equipped with brakes and not equipped. Of course, the braking force of the train directly depended on cars' ratio. In this regard, freight trains were divided into classes depending on how much the entire train is pipe fitted. With the advent of diesel locomotives, a different way of classifying trains, known mainly as a train reporting number, began to be used in parallel with the headcodes. We will also tell about it in one of the following movies.
Interesting idea. Let's combine British and Canadian systems. The combination of lights will indicate the class of a train, and the color of lights will indicate if it's extra train not shown in timetable, or it's additional section for express train, or it's a special pushing loco at the end of a train.